Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mental Madness. I'm your host, Mad Max, back at you again. Really excited, although I'm kind of concerned about today's subject, which is going to be obviously about the government shutdown. Yep. I got my 2 cents to add. So how's everybody doing today? I'm a really excited mood today, and I'm in a good mood. I see positive things happening. I'm hoping that it stays positive. So, little Megadeth for you. Yeah. Don't you guys feel that bite? The bite of that hungry, evil wolf trying to take all your resources and your money, trying to trick you, trying to play with your head. That's what this government shutdown's about. That's right, folks. You know, I've never seen something so remarkable happening before my eyes than what's happening right now with the government shutdown. Because what I see happening is the Constitution working the way it should be. And, Americans have been blind to how the Constitution actually works. And, when the people or representatives of the people want to, say something and get their voice heard about something and have a right to demand, not to make demands, but the right to bipartisan agreement on decisions. And sometimes it's very hard to make bipartisan agreements on decisions, such as the government, when you have really extreme left versus really extreme right. I certainly put myself right in the middle as an independent. I like to look at both views and kind of compare them, bring them together. Well, can we work something out? But I think more people should be independent. Should be independent from the government. And the government, I agree to a certain extent on the shutdown. I disagree how Obama and the White House and Congress are using it as a way to try to threaten the people. Because if government fails to provide services for the people, then they owe us tax money back. We're not going to pay somebody that's not going to do their job for us. I don't know who these people think that they're playing with when they try to shut down the government. Does the government need to be regulated? Absolutely. Does certain things in the government need to be defunded? Absolutely. Do certain things that operate in the government need to be defunded? Absolutely. Should it be things like Social Security? No. Should it be things like veterans benefits? No. Should it be things like funding the military? No. Should it be things like NSA, spy games? Should it be things like war games? Should it be things like, wasted money? EPA and global warming tax bullshit and, regulations on everything. Some of those regulations, and a lot of them, I think, need to be lifted. Government sticks their noses in way too many things, and it's time for the people to rise above it. It's mental madness, folks. What's going on? They're literally playing with American lives right now. American people will start panicking. I hope they don't, because when the money runs out and nobody can make decisions, we need people right now that are going to make decisions, and Obama is not one of them, because you see he will not negotiate against Obamacare. Will not negotiate. Constitutional bullshit. It was deemed constitutional by the Supreme Court. Well, I call bullshit. First of all, the Obamacare I don't even know much about healthcare, but I do know one thing: that Obamacare is driving away small business doctors, people who start their own doctors. You won't have a choice which doctor you want to go see now. When you go in there, they'll ask you, what Obamacare plan do you have? And if your doctor doesn't have that Obamacare plan, then you have to go to a different one, which is a lower level, crappier, probably lower paid doctor. So I mean, it's setting us up for failure. The rich will all get access to really good medical benefits, while the poor will still not get access. They'll still have to pay money that they don't have. That's the problem. If the people had money, if the government didn't store all the money on these stupid bullshit programs and these spy games spying on American people and shit, they didn't have all that money invested in all that shit, then the people would have the extra money. They wouldn't be taxed that much, and they would have the extra money in their pockets to be able to afford to do more things. I mean, it sounds like a Republican thing to say, but in the end, you got to think logically and rationally with your money. And I try my very best to budget my money, but my money is government dependent. Again, I'm a disabled veteran, so this shutdown could very well affect me, and I may have to find alternate ways to get funded just to pay my bills. So it is a problem right now. I'm nervous about it, but at the same time, I know that the Republicans are trying to make a strong point. And the point is that Obamacare will destroy our medical system. It will destroy small businesses. It will increase the tax that the American people pay to pay everybody else's bill. Which, if everybody else's bill wasn't ridiculous, then everybody could pay it. You see, I mean, it's just, but because if everybody had a little bit extra money from less taxes or less government fees and fines and overpriced gas and overpriced food and overpriced bullshit, I see right through this stuff. I mean, I see through it like it's a veil. It's a fucking veil of voidness. I see right through it. Most people may not ever even encounter anything that I ever say or have, will never wake up. Some people just will not wake up. That's the point I'm trying to get to. They won't see the bigger picture in the end, the end picture. And I'm not saying that I know what the end picture looks like, but I have seen throughout history that every great nation rises and falls. Rises and fucking falls. Every fucking time. Mental madness takes in and it just fucking obliterates them. They destroy themselves from the inside out. They mentally and madly destroy themselves. That's why I call the show Mental Madness, folks. Because there's a lot of mental madness going on out there right now. And this show, this podcast that I'm doing, it's not only to inform people, but it's also for me to record. To record in real time historical events that are happening, such as things like our great country shutting down our government without the approval of the people. What gives them the right to shut down the government when we are the ones that pay the government to do the job that they do? They tax us. They're not going to stop taxing us just because they're shut down. Right? So they're just pocketing money now. They're just saving it all up. Every day that we're going to shut down is money that they're not spending on stupid shit right now. Do some people got to bite the bullet for once? That's like when I was told in the military, when I joined the military, and this is going to hurt to some people who are being furloughed and laid off by the government job. When I joined the military, and they said, when you're in the government owns you. You know that the government may not at some point be able to pay you, and you will still have to do work for them. You sign all of this stuff when you join the military or any type of government job. You know the risk you're taking when you get a military or a government job. That's part of being in the government. You know, what about Joe Blow, who got laid off 8 years ago when he had a perfect $120,000 a year job? Who was putting his kids through school. Now he can't do it because he got laid off because the fucking economy went to shit. And now he's only making $30,000 being a manager at Wendy's. You know, how is that fucking fair? The Congress is getting paid right now while the government's shut down by the American people, but the American people are not getting any services. All of the services that they say are so important for us, like NSA and all the yellow zone and the red zone, green zone bullshit. You know, I don't care what's really important to them, because they seem to be the ones to think that they're the ones in fucking charge. They forget who the fuck is in charge. It's not them. They run around with their fucking bodyguards. They run around with their fucking, you know, don't piss off the people of the United States of America. Especially the ones who fought and protected this country. Like me, you know. I won't use violence unless it's to defend myself against violence, against the evil acts. I'm a quiet person. I keep to myself. I don't bother other people unless I have something, either productive or I want to be a friendly person, a good person, you know. So it's not about whether, you know, we should be extreme left or extreme right. Why should either side be one side or the other? You know, and Obama is refusing to accept any Republican ideas that come in, which I'm totally against. You know, well, they're holding us hostage. Well, you're doing the fucking same thing, because you're not even accepting the people's ideas, which are these few select members of Congress, like 80 members, who are working their ass off to protect people's rights. They're working their ass off to see this country not fall, because that's what's going to happen, man. You just don't fucking know. If they push this through, and they're trying really, really hard to push Obamacare through, but, you know, I wish that it only costed $7,500 a family for you to have health care insurance every month. I wish it only costed that much, you know. I really do. But the government don't. The insurance companies don't. They want it to cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, because they know they can fucking get away with it. But I'm gonna tell you fucking what right now. This shit fucking pisses me off. This is what really pisses me off, and that's why I really get fucking frustrated with this shit. And it's called mental madness, folks. They are ripping you off every fucking day, getting away with bullshit that would make you fucking cry if you knew about it. It would literally make you break down and become a different fucking person if you knew about some of the bullshit they were doing to you. And these motherfuckers running around in the Rolls Royce fucking black SUV Cadillac bullshit government fucking vehicles. Now, excuse my language. I'm really, really frustrated right now with what the fuck is going on right now. Do people not see this shit? Do people not wake the fuck up? We have two things. There's always going to be that two sides of the coin, good and evil. And right now the good is 80 people inside the United States Congress. I personally believe the good people who are truly fighting for the last little bit of freedom that we have in this country. You know, and we need to reverse it. We need to build on that 80 to 180. We need to build on that to where everybody sees this through. You know? I understand people need health care. And we should find a way, for now, to fund people who need that health care, until we can provide through economic ways, through working, people getting off their ass. Excuse my language. You know, I worked my ass off in the military. I still wish I was in the military. I miss it a lot. But people work their ass off every day to make sure they can go home, feed their kids, and at least experience a life with them. A normal life, you know? Dinners, movies, popcorn, cuddling in the bed, Christmases, you know, these normal things. We could be so much more than all of the things we do. And we could experience life in a much grander aspect than the scheduled, you know, normal, consolidated, compartmentalized life that we have today, you know. I mean, people have no idea, just no idea how evil some of these people are. You know, there's a lot of people on the left who really think that they are so smart that they think they know what's best for this country, you know. And people who go to Harvard, Yale, people who go to all these prestigious universities and colleges, you know, I don't take any credit away for what they have done, for the achievements that they've made. You know, I don't take any credit away from that. But I've learned something when I was in the military. And there's two types of officers in the military: your non-commissioned officers and your commissioned officers. Well, commissioned officers are the ones who've been to school, went through West Point, and have a college degree in something, most likely. And the non-commissioned officers are the ones who became sergeants and staff sergeants and first sergeants and sergeant first classes and so on and so forth. You know, the ranking system is there. Everybody knows that. But the officers, a second lieutenant who just joined the military, has to be saluted by, you know, a higher ranking or a high ranking non-commissioned officer who's been in 20 years. And, you know, I never understood the system. You know, I accepted. I was like, well, he went to school, big deal, you know. And then we get in combat situations where the shit hits the fan and shit really matters. And we get to the point to where, you know, there's just certain decisions need to be made. And some of them are just, you just wonder, what the fuck was that person thinking? And so, you know, we had instances where our lieutenants either made terrible decisions or you know, just didn't listen to the advice from other NCOs or other officers, you know, or just made really irrational, you know, why the fuck did he do that kind of decision? Like, why are we taking the same route every day? Why aren't we switching it up? You know, why? You know, I can't get into combat readiness and all that, but there was decisions that you notice that book smart people who are really book smart lack a lot of common sense when it came to certain things that needed, because they overthought things, you know, and that's what smart people do. They overthink things. You know, there's a difference between being intelligent and using the intelligence to your advantage, and being intelligent and overusing that intelligence. And overusing the intelligence means you try to control the situation, and that's what government is. It's a way for the people, we hire the government to take care of our dirty work for us. You know, well, we need somebody to balance the budget. We need somebody to do our taxes. We need somebody to protect us from bad people out there. We need somebody to research new ways to cure diseases. We need somebody to research new ways to cure, you know, the clean water, find clean water, and ways to detect asteroids from hitting the planet. All kinds of things that we need to be putting our money into. Well, money is a whole other thing. We don't even need money, but we'll get to that on another day. But, you know, right now in our current situation, it's a necessity. And it's because people accept that money is a necessity, and that money has some sort of value, but it only has value because we place the value on it mentally. That's it. We mentally place value on that. Oh, you have something I want, well, give me that, and you can have this. So, but the more of these I have, the more of the stuff I can get. You know, and that's the thing that's going on. The government stores all the money in one central spot by taxing people, which is what they were supposed to do, and distribute it amongst the programs that needed to be funded by the people. You know, and are certain states going to have different laws? Yes, because certain states are going to have different feelings. So that each state has the right to vote on which side they wanted to vote on. That's the reason people forget. We need to separate ourselves from the government and put ourselves back down to the states, to the individual, to you. Yes, does it fucking suck that you have to go work? Absolutely. Gotta get off your ass and go out there and work. And I can't get a decent job because of my problems from the military. So again, I'm an injured veteran, and there's a lot of injured veterans out there who I think have woken up, who have really, well, man, my experience in the military was awesome. Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But, there were some power tripping assholes in there. There was some dirty shit going on. I mean, what are these people on? And then you realize, well, you saw the drugs that they were feeding soldiers, the Xanax and pain pills, and in combat, and even back in the United States. Like, how can you distribute these drugs to soldiers and then still actively ask them to operate? I mean, you're telling psychopaths to run around with guns, or you're telling pain pill addicts to after 2 hours in patrol that they need another pill and they don't have it because they're on patrol and they can't use that shit on patrol, and they're freaking the fuck out. I mean, get real, folks. Get real. I know what's going on. I've seen it with my own eyes. Seen it. If people saw it themselves, they'd probably wake the fuck up too. But don't get me wrong. The world is not as ugly as I make it out to seem. There are good people out there. And we can live in a place where everybody's happy and contributes to society and mentally is happy and wants to do things, wants to discover new ways of thinking, wants to discover new ways of doing things, period. Ideas flow like a river in and inside and out of people's heads every day, and the government and mainstream and society has formed you to think a certain way, to continue down this repetitive pattern of this compartmentalized pattern. And you need to wake up and just like shake your head left and right, just like you just woke up, splash some water on your fucking face, and open your eyes and see fucking through this shit, man. They're playing games with, not only our money, they're playing games with our lives. They're playing games with who we are. They're playing games with everything that every man and woman and child in this country has worked hard to achieve up to this point. Everything we've ever worked for could be destroyed by these fucks, man. And it makes me mad. It makes me angry. But I really want to channel that anger and use it the right way. I don't want this to go into an all-out war. I don't want this to get to a point to where, even a political war. Because I think we're starting a small political war, or a civil war, if you would call that. Not a physical war, but like a war of words. And it's getting ugly right now. I open the government up. Hold off Obamacare. It's not passing, obviously. Obviously, enough of the people say no. So, sorry. You can't get your way, Obama. It's not a racist thing, dude. I totally have love for you, brother. I do. But you're not thinking rationally, man. You're not fucking thinking rationally. And the people that are getting in your head right now are not thinking rationally. They're overthinking things. They're overstepping their boundary. You're overstepping your boundary. The Constitution says that the people have a right to stand up and say no. And just because we say no doesn't mean that you're going to just run your little CNN mainstream media fucking power trip. Excuse my language. That you're going to threaten World War II veterans and shut down their fucking World War II memorial. Who the fuck are you, dude? Who the fuck are you, man? Wake the fuck up, Mr. Obama. Ah, man. I don't see you as a person of color. I see you for who you are. You told us you weren't going to take my guns, and now you're talking about taking my guns. You promised to me on live television you weren't going to take my guns, and now you're trying to take my guns. You promised to me that you make it easier for middle class. I'm middle class. I can't take care of my fucking bills on time. I gotta wait a certain amount of time. I'm late on some of them. But I don't have any extra money other than to pay my bills, to buy food, and get my kids off to school and to work. And that's it. Life is fucking hard for middle class. You think it's nice being middle class? It's probably the most stressful class to be in. Aside from being poor, don't get me wrong. Poor people, I really feel bad for them. Some people choose to be poor. There's a difference between somebody who's chosen to be poor and someone who got fucked over by the system and then just gave in. Or fucked over by their authoritarian parents who kicked them out on the street, or who never listened to any of the cool ideas that they thought were cool. I mean, ideas are ideas. Acting out on ideas and having ideas are two different things, It's like comparing apples and oranges, And how dare Obama get up there and say on CNN and all that fucking bullshit that he will refuse to negotiate the Affordable Care Act. But he can't see how the Republicans would refuse to deny the Affordable Care Act, which is costing the American people tons of money right now. There's more than enough jobs in this. We can make more than everybody on this planet can find something productive to do for this planet and for our society as a whole. Not everybody is intelligent, and so everybody has a specific field with which they're smart in. Regardless of your IQ. I mean, you can be dumb as fuck, but know how to shoot a gun, or know how to fix a car. There should be more than enough mechanic jobs out there. There should be more than enough army people. There should be more than enough people out there who, you're smart in reading. Go teach reading. Go teach people how to read who have problems. You're smart in science. Well, go be a scientist. Don't force us to learn everything. Cram our head full of bullshit that we really don't have time to focus on the one thing that we are good at. For sure. We may eventually learn how to become better at things as we grow up. And that may benefit our life. And instead, we're forced to learn one or pay for more to learn another subject in college. It's dumb, folks. It really is. It's mental fucking madness. I'm tired of it. You need to be fucking tired of it. I am to the point to where I'm going to start writing my congressman like every day. I am going to be probably put on a no-fly list, watch list, bullshit, NSA spy list, bullshit. I don't care. I want people to know. I want them. I want them to know that they're playing with you, your life, your children's lives, with your money. It's not just me. It's not about me. I want you to know and be informed. And then what are you going to do about it? There's only so much I can do about it. And I'm not saying you have to pick up a gun and go spray down Washington. That's just the worst thing you could do. That is not what I'm saying. All I am saying is that the people have the right to say no to something they don't want. You know, why force Obamacare on every state? Why force it nationwide? Why not let each state decide whether they would like to have Obamacare or not? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous what they're trying to do right now. It's ridiculous what they're trying to do. You see this new world order just trying to shift in and kick your fucking ass. I mean, they're rearing their leg back so fucking far they couldn't even pull it out their ass even if they wanted to. But when they kick you, it's going to be so fucking hard. You know, I'm sorry, folks. It is literally mental madness. They're playing games right now, and they think it's fucking funny. CNN thinks it's funny, and all the mainstream media thinks it's funny, sitting there laughing. Look at those crazy guys trying to change the world. Look at those crazy guys trying to stand up for liberty and justice and freedom. Look at those crazy guys who are the oddballs out. Yeah, the weird guys, the weird ones. Because, you know, that's how they've taught us to be. You know, don't worry about the weird guy. Oh, he's just a weirdo. He's not popular. He's not cool. He's not part of my clique. You know, like, what the fuck, man? Really? Wake the fuck up. I mean, who the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you? But I'm going to tell you what I am. I'm a person who believes in informing others. I'm a person who believes in making the bad decisions I've made in my life turn out for something positive. I'm a person that looks at every person on this planet without judging them before I look at them. I'm a person who would give somebody $1 if I had it. A homeless man. I was somebody who give somebody a hug if they needed it. You know? I'm a shy person, but at the same time I have an open heart. I know that the world will take advantage of good people. So I defend myself against that, and I'm on the watch for that all the time. I don't want to be fucking taken advantage of, and the first time that I am, let's hope that, you know, when you burn my bridge, that's it. I mean, I don't want to say that, you know, I'm this Mr. Perfect guy, because I'm not. You know, like I said, I've had a pretty rough life up until this point, where now I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and think about everything that just happened in my life. Especially being over in combat in Iraq, and, you know, everything, all of the things that I experienced over there in the military, in the government. Now I'm putting it out. I'm not giving out any classified information. I don't intend to break any classifications, but all I do want to say is that the people know now, without a shadow of a doubt, that something kooky is going on. I mean, I've known that it's been going on for several years now. Some people have known that it's been going on for even longer than me. 20, 30, 40, 50, 70 years now. Since the 1920s, really. I mean, we won't even go there. But I will say, folks, that there will come a time in history where we need to make a decision. And that decision is going to be either based on one of two things. How we react to what's happening now, and how we move forward after that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this has to be the most debated and talked about subject of all time. Our government telling us what we can and can't do. We can't go visit a World War II vets can't go visit their dead buddies who are honored for their dedication and service to this country. Can't go visit them. It's an outside thing. They just chained it off and barricaded it off. Like, oh, you can't come in because you shut us down even though you give us the money to work. What? We didn't shut you fucking down. You fuckers decided you wanted to shut yourself down because you didn't come to an agreement on how to work the government. And so now, if you little fucking little shitty ass brats, little kids, can't get it right, then we're going to take the power back. The people will. If you can't handle the responsibility, then the people are going to have to man up and start handling most of the responsibility themselves. And it's hard to do that in this society with no money and no assets and no fucking, I understand. We need to group together to help each other. We need to find ways to reach out, find ways to fundraise, find ways for wealthy people to finally decide, and I'm not saying give that money to people, because everybody has something that they're really dear in heart about. Say it's cancer, I totally agree with charities. I'm totally for charities. I love the idea. The idea of charities is awesome. The way they use charities as a way to cut loopholes around taxes and shit. That's just a whole other thing. But charity overall is a great thing. Not to the point to where you're giving all your money away and it actually hurts your paycheck. Because if we all contribute $1, that's almost $1 billion. So, it's not that bad. Think about the things you could do. If everybody just donated $1 billion to pay our fucking bills off every month. Oh, there's $1 billion. Oh, there's an extra $1 billion. Oh, there's an extra $1 billion. And slowly more jobs will start coming back. Slowly more. If the rich people decided they wanted to take the 99% of the money that's in the world right now and actually disperse some of it, then you might see some things improving. But they don't want that. They want everything for themselves. An Orwellian takeover. Nazi 2.0. Whatever you want to call it. The fascists versus the libertarians. It's to the point now that it's just it's like watching two little kids argue over the same piece of candy. It's just different wrapper color. It's fucking gonna taste the same. It's the same thing. It's just covered in different wrapper. Come on, folks. If you have any influence out there, if you have any say-so, if you have any power to do something about what the fuck is going on, you need to raise your voice. You need to get a sign. You need to call your congressman. You need to call your representatives. You need to get out in front of your town halls. You need to get out on the internet. You need to get out and inform people on your street corner. You need to get out and wake the fuck up. On your weekends. Instead of watching NFL. Fucking go out and fucking hold the sign up. Go out and make a fucking podcast. Put it on YouTube. Spread it to your friends like wildfire. Put it on Facebook. Wake the people up. Because I see this huge sleeping giant kind of starting to rise. It's like you just woke up from a dead sleep. A firecracker went off 20 feet away from your head. And you're like, and everything was black, but now everything, you start waking up and things start getting kind of blurry at first. Then you're looking around and then you realize, oh my God, what the fuck happened? What was it? Oh, that. And then you realize, oh, I'm alive. I'm awake. I'm aware. And we've been in that sleeping mode where we're literally almost in REM stage sleep. Hypnotized. By the GMO in your foods, by the cigarettes, by the alcohol, by the drugs, by, vaccines. It sounds, it is mental madness, folks. But we have been dumbed down so much to the point that if we were anything of what we could truly be right now, let's just say I think that I honestly think people would move off this planet if they found out some of the things that they need to know. And it really comes from meditating, comes from the information that you receive and how you deal with that information, and how because life is about a feeling of, life is a wheel of emotions. It's going to keep rolling, and you're going to keep spinning. And the emotions that you choose to really focus on, say when you're happy or when you're mad or when you're sad, that you only laugh at certain kind of jokes, that haha, that was funny to me, but it might not have been funny to somebody else. That's what I'm talking about. It's just a natural response from your brain that was digitally downloaded. And right now, we are going through a mental madness thing going on right now. Some people are starting to become super aware and intelligent, while the other ones you see is starting to go off the deep end. And both sides are kind of going off the deep end. Some of them who are on my side, on the good side, are trying too hard, or are saying too much, but not necessarily doing the things that they say they're supposedly doing or saying. It's like Alex Jones is a fine example of somebody who's not afraid to admit when he's wrong, one, but to expose the government for what it is, to expose the darkness that's been swirling in the soup of fucking bullshit. And he really was the one that woke me up. What really woke me up was a really bad drug experience in my life after I had left the military. I had a lot of problems, a lot of mental problems. I had post-traumatic stress disorder, I had traumatic brain injury problems. I was not doing well. And I almost died, literally, a few times. And I came to the moment to where I was, and it wasn't nothing bad drugs, it was prescribed drugs, but also it was a mixture of the brain injuries, and we won't get into that, but my medical history. All I will say is that I wasn't very well then, mentally, especially coming out of a combat situation from Iraq, and life was just very rough for me. My thoughts were everywhere. And for the longest, I couldn't figure out a way to cope with everything that I was dealing with until I started meditating. And meditating was something that was I was curious about, but I was never really like, oh, let's go do that, But I always wondered if it actually did work. And once I started doing it, and it did start working, I started to realize that, hey, maybe I have something here, Maybe something is going on, and, even if the things that I'm, not, if the things that I'm seeing or experiencing are not real, even if dreams aren't real, even if ideas aren't real, can we still somehow manifest the physicality of these thoughts and ideas? Can they somehow relate to us in the real life? And I was a paranormal investigator for a short amount of time. I was associated with TAPS, the Association for Paranormal Studies, and I've done some paranormal studies. So yeah, I also worked with ASAP, the Association for Unexplained Phenomenon, who was headed by Rick Moran. And Rick Moran was a really good investigator when it came to paranormal activity, and he was well respected. And I feel like I was just led to that point, led to those people, led to the ideas, led to the, I've had some strange, spooky experiences in Iraq with ghost sounds and shit too in Iraq. So I'm not, there's lots of death over there, and there's lots of things that can happen, and there's lots of technology that you have that can kind of get, weird, that I'm not going to get into. I was a paranormal investigator. I still actively research in my own way paranormal studies. Mainly I do this podcast, and I also inform people. I'm also, I support and promote rising against the New World Order, which I think is happening right now. The New World Order is really trying hard to take over. And I know it sounds crazy, folks, and I know it sounds just out there. And you're like, well, nah, that can never be real. That can never exist. I'm telling you right now it does. I'm telling you right now that even if it doesn't, at some fundamental level, there are dark, evil people who want everything for themselves. And they've been in charge for a long time. And they've been in charge of these crazy organizations like the CIA. And they've been elected through, lobbying and taking taxpayers' dollars. And they've been elected through cheating and scamming their way to the top. And that when they actually get there, they don't do anything they said they were going to do for us. It was all just a political scam, bullshit lie to get you to vote for them. And I'm sorry, people. It's time to wake up. It's time to realize that they scammed you. They've been scamming you. They're going to keep fucking scamming you until you wake up and say, no fucking more, I'm cutting you off. Calling my bank, saying, cutting these motherfuckers off. That's why I agree somewhat with the shutdown. I think the shutdown was a representation of no. You can't just have your way, Mr. President. No, we won't vote that through. We don't like that idea. No, we need to find another idea. No, it's not good enough. The people don't like it. Figure something else out. Something we can both agree on. So, I'm sorry, Mr. President, but you're just one man. You're supposed to be representing all of us. And you're not. You're representing your half. And that's not cool, bro. It's not fucking cool, man. And and it's not, I don't have a half. I'm not on the right either. I do believe that some of the right ideas are extreme too. Some of them. And when I say extreme, I don't mean extreme to the point to where I think they're crazy. Let's get that fact straight, Because nobody truly knows what the nature of reality is. And many people have awesome ideas that can contribute to society. But people who have been fed through the system of high college education, skull and bone society, become a congressman, become a governor, they've all been through these same systems, the same path as previous presidents and previous congressmen. There's no access for a 4-year-old poor kid who ain't got no money because his family's broke to get into a school if he's making B's and A's, barely cutting it, C's, couple C's here and there. Nope, he ain't gonna make it to the honor system. Nope, he ain't gonna make it to the Ivy League schools. Like, what the fuck? Shouldn't you want him to make it to the Ivy League schools? Shouldn't it just be a fucking free thing that you want to educate your kids? Shouldn't that just be like, here, I'll give you money to educate my children? Not here, I'll give you money to go start war with fucking Syria. Because that's not what I give the government my money for. I give my money, not just me, but the people. That's when I say me, the people. I mean the people. I don't mean to speak in me, myself. All of us need to be responsible. We need to be the ones that are checking the government, going down a list of things that they're supposed to be doing. We need to be the one that's actually checking that shit off and making sure that it's getting done. Because we haven't been for a long time. They're getting out of control with it. They think they're fucking God. They think they can play these fucking bullshit games. And we're not going to have it no more, son. Not anymore. You are going down. And not with these, but with these, son. With words and ideas. And I promise you, if enough people step up to the plate, enough people wake the fuck up, we can do it, folks. It's Mental Madness. I know. I'm your host, Mad Max. We'll see you next time.